needs assistance. An agent needs assistance. An agent needs assistance. Is being taken by the enemy. And the enemy has acquired the boost. Rogue defender drone detected.
Specialization supply drop has been arranged for you. There's no pulling out. Keep fighting. The rogues have run out of reinforcements. You can win this.
What's up, agents? Patrick Wolf here. Welcome to another Division 2 build video. Today's video is going to be the Ridgeway meta build 2.0. I originally posted the Ridgeway meta build a couple of weeks ago, and obviously now title update 12 has popped up and has changed the game a bit, and obviously the Eclipse bag does not work. If you guys didn't know that, you cannot use Ridgeway's Pride with the Eclipse backpack. We will go through that in a couple of minutes, but first and foremost, I just want to explain how the build's going to work. So it's quite simple. We want high RPM, big damage, and we want to get up close to the enemies and put them on the bleed and utilize that bleed to proc Sadist, which gives us a lot of damage. And we also have a special backpack talent called Wicked, which gives us more weapon damage. The higher the RPM, the more the damage is applied. It just works extremely well, and the weapon handling is great for any kind of situation. Reload speed, swap speed, accuracy and stability, it all goes hand in hand and works well in any kind of build. So I'm just going to go through the specialization because this build is quite simple. It's mainly for PvP. There's nothing crazy about it. It's just going to be straightforward. Get up close, melt your enemies. You can use this in PvE, but I would recommend this only really being a PvP build. If I was going to use this in PvE, I'd probably stack a bit of armor on kill and maybe use something like Bloodsucker and Adrenaline Rush and Intimidate. But this is going to work really well. To be honest, I've fought against a couple guys using the the normal armor damage, Fox's Prayer, Lady Death SMG builds, and every single one of those fights I won, because this build, the damage from the Sadist combination is more than in sync. If you guys didn't know that, so we can go through all of that very soon, but let's go through the specialization first and foremost. So we have got the firewall. The main reason is because I see a lot of people thinking that every time you pull out a shield, this automatically makes your build a shield build. That's ridiculous. If you're not using the shield, you're probably dying a lot in PvP, so use the shield. The shield gives you a lot of damage, and it gives your teammates a lot of damage. You would be silly not to utilize this. A lot of damage, over 6-7%. If you obviously, it's mitigated in PvP, but you can get that even in PvE, and about 1-2% for PvP. So it's very potent. The armor, well, when your armor breaks, it doesn't apply the burn anymore in PvP. It only works in PvE, so just keep that in mind. Then also, when we go through everything else, it's pretty obvious, to be honest. We're just going to go for SMG damage. That's going to be the main one. And then when we go through burn duration, it's not really going to apply much to us, but the armor kit is one of the best in the game. So just make sure everything is active, and let's go through the actual pieces. Like I said, it's going to be a quick little demonstration of the build, and then we're going to go into the firing range so I can give you guys more of an idea of what I mean by what I said earlier. So the Ridgeway's Pride, you can get this beautiful chest piece. I'm sure you guys know how to get it. If you don't, I'll link videos in the description. We have Bleeding Edge. Shooting an enemy within 15 meters applies bleed to the target. That's automatically just by shooting your gun. Repair 3 to 48% of your armor per second for every enemy that's bleeding within 15 meters. Now, you can use this with other backpack talents, but this is going to be more viable in PvE. It can sometimes be situationally active in PvP, but I don't recommend it. It's more PvE kind of situation. That repair strength per number of bleeding enemies, so it's gone up quite significantly in Title Update 12, but the main focus is to put the enemies on the bleed. So we have got weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage. Every single modification I've put on my gear is going to be crit damage mods, because I have got that beautiful 60% crit chance, because it's very important. Because we're using an SMG, it's not going to be too difficult. So the whole premise of this build is to put the NPCs or the PvP, the players, on the bleed up close, and then we are going to get the Wicked, which, applying a status effect, increases total weapon damage by 18% for 20 seconds. This will be up constantly. Also, the disruption pulse that I'm utilizing procs that as well. We have 2-piece Sokolov, which gives us SMG damage, critical hit damage, which is probably the 2 best in slot for this current build that we're using now. And the way that it scales with the weapon damage from the Sadist is because the enemies are going to be on the bleed, or the players are going to be on the bleed whenever they're close to us. Not a lot of people have got 94% bleed resistance. I guarantee you that most people will be bleeding. Vector SBR 9mm. This is one of the best SMGs in the game for this. We have got a very high RPM, 1380. Very, very good. With Sadist, damage starts out of cover is very important in the attribute slot. Sadist is going to give us 20% weapon damage to bleeding enemies. This is more than in sync, the way that it scales, and it's going to work perfectly with the 3-piece striker. All of these damage increases are going to work so incredibly well with the 3-piece striker because of the increased rate of fire. I'll explain that in a second. So after 4 kills, it automatically puts the enemy on bleed, the next one you hit. So that's without being said. But the weapon base damage does not look very impressive, but trust me, you will melt any kind of player in this game using this build. It's really, really good. And if I was going to run a PvP build with the Ridgeway, I've tried a whole bunch of combinations, and this is definitely, in my opinion, the best that you can do. You're probably thinking, stack foxes per armor damage. The 3-piece striker is extremely potent in this game right now, and a lot of people don't understand how it works. It doesn't seem like it's a lot, but it is very, very strong. I put out one of the original 3-piece striker builds long ago, and people questioned it, but I think a lot of people have started going towards it. Rate of fire is 15%. Now, if you think about that, if you have, there's no other way to get rate of fire in this game other than certain rolls on your weapon. And for example, there's one assault rifle that runs with a talent that gives you rate of fire. It's incredibly strong because every time your bullet crits or you get a high damage number from a buff, you're getting 15% more bullets than your enemy. So it just 15% more over a span of a whole magazine. You need to do the math. It's quite good. Now, that's something that I don't recommend doing. People that do mathematics in this game and say, give me a piece of paper saying this is better, those are the people that will struggle the most in this game. It's all about testing and just going for things and trying them out. So that's why I never really get into the mathematics of this. I can bring up a spreadsheet and a PowerPoint presentation explaining how all of this works. It's irrelevant. It does not, no one wants to see that. It doesn't make sense. I think that's the mistake that a lot of people try and do, is give me the numbers on a piece of paper. That is never the case. Have you guys ever been killed by someone and looked at their build and be like, oh man, what the hell was that? That guy just killed me so easily. That's because some things just work out better than what's on paper. So this is just a really good combination. I'm not saying it's the strongest in the game, but for the setup that we have now, it's incredibly potent. And you cannot out DPS me when I'm using this. It's really, really good, considering we have got 1.3 million armor. So let's look at the modifications up a bit more closer. So we've got crit damage over there, crit chance, crit chance. Now, I recommend you guys get this extended 9mm magazine, plus 20 rounds, minus 10% reload speed, but weapon handling, 15%. The Striker 3-piece completely brings back our reload speed, which is very, very nice. So you need to gauge and see how much crit chance you have. Keep checking your statistics. Make sure you guys have that 60% crit chance. If you have just below, put an extra crit chance mod on your weapon. Secondary and pistols, completely up to you. I've gone for the Pestilence just to get the ticks over. So, the guy will be ticking when I come and fight him. Then it's GG's. You're dead. Then we have got the 2-piece Sokolov Concern, crit chance, crit damage, armor rolled, all crit damage mods, very, very good. I have got headshot damage because if I can get a headshot, it really does multiply really well with the base weapon damage that I'm going to be getting from these talents. But Wicked is very good with this. It's going to be always active. It's very, very potent. There are ways to get more damage, but this is just non-situational, very easy way to get damage. And the fact of the matter is if people can say, oh, I'm immune to your build, if you have 94% crit damage, I will melt you because you are shooting marshmallows. Because unfortunately in this game, if you run a full hazard protection build, your damage is going to be quite low, and that's just the way it is. It's unfortunate, but you know, what can we do? Hopefully they can buff these modifications to like from 10% to 20% bleed resistance like they originally did, but they reverted it, which is not very nice. So let's go through the chest piece now. Well, we have pretty much gone through it. I'm sure you guys understand how this works. It's very, very strong chest. 3-piece striker, what I've done is gone for all crit chance and crit damage just to get myself to that beautiful 60% crit chance, which is very important. I'm trying to optimize this knee pad, but to be honest, don't waste your time. Optimization station is too expensive right now. They've changed it recently, but it's not that good still. Just wait, hopefully they make it a bit cheaper. So you can gauge how many blues you want in a build. My sweet spot is normally 1.1, 1.3 million for especially like a conflict build. If you're in the DZ, you can go for 1.5, but you know, it just, if you face trade each other and you test the same build against the same build, the 1.3 will normally win most of the time. Now that's due to just having a bit of extra damage because the armor in this game gets melted so easily. So it's completely up to you how much armor you have. If you want to be tankier, there's not a problem with that. But obviously just keep in mind that you have to get the right pieces. And striker, I think you can't actually craft a striker's holster if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure why, but it is the way it is. So let's have a look at the statistics. We have got the PvP weapon damage 23k, 60% crit chance, 145% crit damage, 80% weapon damage, which is not bad. Then we're going to keep going down. You guys can have a look. Obviously it's deceiving. The weapon damage is something that I'm not worried about. We will be getting a lot more damage from further buffs. But yeah, this isn't the most powerful PvP build I've used in TU12. I'll bring out a few more, but it is definitely the best way I would run the Ridgeway's chest piece, you know, combination for PvP. And I feel like this absolutely destroys in PvP. It really does melt NPCs as well if you want to use it in PvE. But like I said, maybe try go for some more armor on kill. It's completely up to you. So the skills I'm utilizing are the disruption pulse, which is going to be good because it actually removes skills or well, like the pineapples or any kind of skill that's doing damage to us, like drones could be pestering you. You get it away so that they don't have in sync anymore, or take away the shield. So it's up to you which skills you want to use. Like I said before, this shield is very good. This is the only shield where the damage buffs will apply. So put shield health mods and then put a 5% damage bonus per enemy, which is very, very good. The PvP, it's now 5. So damage bonus per enemy is 12% in PvE. But here it is. PvP damage modifier is 5%, which is really, really strong. So make sure you guys utilize this shield with your build. So that's going to be it for this Ridgeway's meta build. Let's go into the firing range so I can explain a few things further. So I'm in the firing range right now, and luckily my Vector is actually available for me to reroll the talent. So we have got Sadist. So we're going to try Sadist with obviously while the NPC is bleeding, because that's how it works. And then we will proc Wicked with the other talent we'll put on, which will be in sync, just to make sure it's a fair fight. And we'll just compare the two, really. And obviously this is just situational, you know, it's inconclusive. Some things may make in sync better. There's a few other elements involved, but just to give you an idea of why I've chosen Sadist, because it's really, really good. So let's have a look and see. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to utilize the shield because I think it's going to disrupt our data a bit, or the damage that we might get because of the way that it works. Because when I pull it out, you know, sometimes it doesn't register the damage if the enemy's is more than 5 meters, and as you can see, it's really close. So I'm just going to get it right over there, which should be fine. So we're going to hit headshots. So right now we're hitting 363.
Roll and sync and see what we get afterwards.
Right, so now we have got in sync on the weapon. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to disrupt so we get it active. Let's just put it on to make sure that the NPC has got armor. So we'll go all the way back to where it originally was, because if you hit armor damage and then health damage, sometimes it's not the best readings, especially if you're using an assault rifle. So no shield once again, and then we're going to just pulse. So as you can see, Wicked is now procced. That's in sync. So we are hitting 350k, so from 363 to 350. Now, like I said earlier in some of my other videos, that however thousands of damage each bullet is huge if you take that over a span of a magazine or two. So that is a lot more damage with utilizing Sadist and Wicked. Well, there's a lot more damage from Sadist than in sync, basically. Let's go through why the Eclipse bag by itself does not work anymore, and I can showcase this. So amplifies all damage you deal to status affected targets by 30%. Now I've taken away Ridgeways because the sadist would give us false numbers. I've seen a few people do incorrect tests, so I'm going to showcase how to do it properly. So we've got unbreakable, so nothing is going to affect it. We're going to be putting them on the blind, so we won't be getting the damage from sadist. Basically what we're going to do is we're just going to showcase the normal damage to the head, which is 210k. And then we're going to put the NPC on the blind, and it's the same 210k. So the backpack does not work by itself. Also, when you try and PvP through various means, blind, ensnare, it's the same outcome. The backpack does not work by itself. So that's going to be it for the Ridgeway Medieval 2.0. As you can see, you can melt through armor and any kind of NPC in the game or player. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll be seeing everyone in the next one. Peace out, guys.